Good morning everybody, Trish Palmer here, Limestone Coast Master Hypnotherapist. So today I'm going to be taking you through levels of trance and vibrations. When you're starting out as a hypnotherapist, there are many people that will ask you, how do I know if I'm in hypnosis? And when you know the levels of trance and the vibrations that can occur, that way you can have the answer right there on the spot, and you can give your potential client and future educated people a starting point. Okay, so here we go. So there are 5 main levels of trance. So the very first one is known as gamma. That's at 40 hertz and above. So this is when we are stressed and we're running very quickly. The mind is trying to process the amount of information that's coming in and out, and it causes an overload or a build-up of emotions. So this is where hypnosis comes in. It's because we are stacking emotions. The amygdala can't process to the hippocampus properly, and then that's what causes overwhelm, it causes stress, and that's why they call it a hertz in the brain. It's because when it is at a particular hertz, it's because it hurts, sort of thing. So it's a really great little metaphor to use there if you're teaching your clients about how they're becoming stressed. The brain is just overloaded. The amygdala can't process the information properly. The hippocampus can't receive it properly. So therefore, it leads to the fight or flight mode in our minds. So you've got the gamma, which is 40 hertz or above. So that's pretty high stuff. That's like, headache kind of stuff. It hurts. Then we have the beta wave. This is a very light trance. It's about 15 to 40 hertz. And this is our usual functioning everyday kind of stuff. So if people ask you, how will I know if I'm in hypnosis trance? Then you can just say to them, you're in trance at all stage. At the moment, you're in a beta trance. So therefore, that means you're in a light trance and just functioning and you're doing your job day to day and just doing your everyday sort of stuff. Then we have the Alfa Trans, which is a very light trance. It's between 8 and 14 hertz. So that's when you're daydreaming or you're pondering or you're remembering lightly, did I buy apples? Do I have eggs in the fridge? That's known as your alpha wave. People drop in and out of beta and alpha many times a day. Do I need to go to the toilet? Am I thirsty? Etc, etc, etc. So you'll get those people and they'll be like, how do I know if I'm going deeper? And it's like, you will start to set your everyday association, then you'll drop into a light trance where you're just kind of daydreaming, and then all of a sudden you'll go deeper and deeper and deeper. It's a really great way to explain it to people. They start to learn it, they can apply it to their lives, and they go, yeah, that is so true. You're breaking down that stigma of hypnotic control trance and things like that. Then we have the Theta Wave. This is a medium trance, about 5 to 8 hertz. This is where you get lost in deep thought, where you're looking pensive as such. There is much less awareness to the outside world and what is happening around us. This is the hypnotic and the NLP wave of suggestion. We can also have partial amnesia that occurs in the body, but I'm going to go more into amnesia in a later training module. So when your client is in the theta wave, that's when you can do your hypnotic suggestions and things like that. Now, a theta wave doesn't mean that somebody is just like, doesn't mean that. Sometimes a theta wave can be somebody that's so sucked into a movie that as soon as you talk to them, they're like, ah! And they break themselves out of it. It's that deep lost. When you're deeply lost in your train of thought. So a theta wave doesn't necessarily mean that person's got their eyes closed and they're following that hypnosis journey. It can also be done in NLP whilst their eyes are open and they're just in that moment where they're so sucked into that movie that they're not even aware what is going on around them. A lot of parents will go into the theta wave, especially if they've got kids that are playing up. They'll just go, and then they automatically start to zone it out. So they won't even acknowledge that situation is even occurring. So it's a fascinating things that we train ourselves to for things that require alert and alarm and things that require relaxation. Those sounds are not cause for alarm. Okay, so the theta wave is where your hypnosis and your NLP of suggestion starts to take place. Then we have the delta wave. This is in the deep trance. So this is 0 to 5 hertz, and this resembles sleep. So in this very deep state is known as somnambulism, and this is when it occurs. So I'm going to talk about more on somnambulism in a later training module. module. And this is where we are in the REM cycle. So our eyes are flickering, our amygdala is processing, our hippocampus is starting to sort out all of that stuff that came in during the day. It's also known as a kundalini or a coma-like state. And this is where the healing of the body actually occurs, whether it be physically or mentally. So when people are in this delta wave, they're actually healing themselves. So if you go to sleep at night and you're like, oh, I just didn't sleep very well, chances are you didn't hit that delta wave whilst you're in your sleep, so that way your body could mentally and physically process all your minerals, all your thoughts, all your vibrations and your energies that have happened during the day, and it's still stacking them up, sort of thing, and bringing them into the future. Sometimes you'll wake up from the delta wave and you'll be like, man, I feel fantastic. And that's because your body has had all the minerals, it's got all the vitamins, it's sorted all of its shit out as such, and then it's gone, yep, we're good to go again. We've reset back to zero and you can just go again. And you've got all this energy and you're like, yes, I had the best sleep, I'm going to conquer the world, sort of thing. And your amygdala, your hippocampus have communicated properly, they've sorted out all of that rubbish that's inside there, and then you're good to go. So in general, there's less brain frequency, so less hertz, if there's less conscious awareness when people have it, okay? So when it comes to hypnosis and NLP, it's about transitioning the client into a lower state that's below the beta. So it's below their waking part. So it doesn't matter if you get people to just go into a little bit of a trance or a very light trance or an alpha trance, because that's an NLP state and that's a fantastic state. That's no different to somebody sitting in class and then all of a sudden going, oh, I get it. They've put themselves into an alpha trance where they're like, they're really thinking about it, they're updating, and then all of a sudden, boom, they get that light bulb. So your job as a hypnotherapist is to get those brain waves to drop down. That's what it is. Then that's so that your client is more receptive to take on the suggestions that you and the client have set up. So I'll teach you more about how to do direct suggestioning in another training video, but understand the levels of trance. When you talk to your clients and they're asking questions, they're like, yes, you can go into an alpha, you can go into a delta, into a beta, a theta, blah, blah, blah. You come across as a real professional and somebody who really knows what they're talking about. And then that way, if that person is curious and they want to tell somebody else, they've got the right information. Or maybe they want to look it up online. They can look it up online. They go, wow, this person really knows their stuff, sort of thing. So knowing about the delta, the beta, the theta, the alpha waves is highly important when you're training your client all about trance. So it's also believed that we can create change and healing via vibrations as well. So the vibration frequencies are known as the Solfeggio frequencies, and they are linked in with the emotions, chakras, and energy fields. So you're working more on the mental vibrations, okay? That's what you're doing as a hypnotherapist and an NLP master. That's what you're working on. We already use vibrations in our everyday life. Have you ever jumped on one of those machines and it massages you and that's a vibration. That's what's going on there. So you're healing your body like, get it right in there, massage it. Yeah, this is great. That's a vibration. That's just a physical vibration. You're working on the mental and the spiritual vibrations. So these are known as Solfeggio frequencies. There are 6 main Solfeggio frequencies. So the very first one is 852 hertz. It's all the one about intuition and it's all about spirituality. A lot of Solfeggio vibrations you can't actually hear. You just feel them and you may not even understand it yourself, but they're going on at all times. So 852 hertz is all about your crown chakra, your third eye, your intuition and your spirituality. 741 hertz is fear and pain. So it's all about the throat and it's communication and expression. Then we have 639 hertz, which is your connection and your relationship, and it's all to do with your heart. At 528 hertz, it's about anger and it's about letting go. So it's about that solar plexus area. At 417 hertz, it's grief and hurt. It's all about the pelvis sacral healing part, sort of thing, and it's about healing the past. When I lost my cat, because I had her for like 20 odd years, I actually listened to a Solfeggio beat on YouTube, and they're all completely free. If you have the YouTube premium version, you can listen to them, sort of thing. And when I actually listened to that, I felt so much better via the morning, because I was basically hammered shit, sort of thing, and I felt so much better, and it helps with the healing. A lot of these beats, these vibrations, you can't actually feel, but when you're listening to them, they'll have different music playing on, and then all of a sudden it's like something just shifts, realigns, moves. So at 417 we have grief and hurt, which is known as your pelvis and your sacral chakra. And then we have 396 hertz, which is guilt and fear, so that's your root chakra. So these electromagnetic frequencies are believed to be part of all matter, okay? Albert Einstein said, concerning matter, we have been all wrong. What we have called matter is actually energy. And energy is the vibrations that have been lowered to a state that we can't perceive them, but the senses can. There is no matter. Solfeggio frequencies have been used in meditation, hypnosis, NLP, and healing for many years. So now you have bowl frequencies coming out, and they do the stick around the bowl, and then they leave the bowl there, and it vibrates and things like that. That's a solfeggio frequency. And it's as simple as putting in the earbuds and listening to the music, feeling the vibrations. Please read more about solfeggio frequencies, as it is absolutely fantastic, and it's fantastic. I started learning about solfeggio frequencies back when I was a massage therapist, and there were many, many times where I knew I had an angry client that would come in because they're going through a divorce or something like that. So I'd actually get the anger solfeggio track running on my iPad to play whilst they were having their massage, and then they'd say, oh, I always feel so much more relaxed here. I wouldn't talk to them, and I'd let that beat come on through to help them with their anger. And then the next time they would come, you could see that shift, and they didn't even realize it was occurring. So help out your clients and play some solfeggio frequencies to help them with their deeper, darker issues, okay? And like Albert Einstein says, at the end of the day, we are all made of matter, so therefore we all matter. How wonderful is that? So join me in the next video. I'm going to be teaching you about pre-talks and waking hypnosis. This is where the hypnosis truly happens. If you can master this, this is where you become that hypnotherapist that's a cut above the rest. You don't even need to put somebody into a deep trance per se to get them the results that they're looking for. You can do it just while they're standing there. I had one lady that I'd gone to the carnival with, and she was freaking out and all this sort of stuff. So she was freaking out, and I just did all of the hypnosis right there, right then, and she moved her anxiety and had an absolutely fantastic day. So what's the difference between a solfeggio and a binaural beat, Mark asked? The difference is the frequencies and the hertz that come through when the brain is processing them. Okay, Dale? Binaural beats are fantastic to get the client to drop down into that deeper breathing, but solfeggios actually enlighten the body and use the vibrations to heal it without your client even being aware of it. So join me in the next video about pre-talk and waking hypnosis, and this is the kind of style of hypnosis and NLP that'll put you a cut above the rest. Otherwise than that, have an awesome day, everybody. See you, Mark. Bye-bye. Mwah.